What's up, guys? Welcome to my review of the Dynamic Discs Criminal. Big thank you to Dynamic Discs for sponsoring this review. I really appreciate Anthony and Bobby and the whole team over there being so gracious as to hook me up with more plastic to test and review. I bug Anthony about all things DD all the time. He's kind of my man on the inside, and I appreciate his support. So let's get into the review. Go check out dynamicdiscs.com, see all their products on there. They got a ton of great stuff, as always. Dynamic Discs, Overstable Fairway Driver, Criminal. This one is in Biofusion plastic, which is pretty sweet. I don't test a lot of bioplastic, so I'm happy to have gotten out and checked out a little more of it, and I like it a lot. It's got a really good feel, beautiful disc. It's just a little dark maybe for my taste, but still a great, good looking disc, and the bioplastic feels really nice. We'll talk a little bit about that more a little later. 10, 3, 1, and 4 are the flight numbers here, so you can see it has a positive number for turn. It's a very overstable disc for sure. Looking onto the bottom, Criminal, DD, made in Sweden, and the weight is right around here, if it'll focus, at 170 grams. Looking at the rim profile here, you can see it's relatively deep. It's not super low profile. Has this little bit of like flashing right here, and you can also see it's got a very characteristic flat edge right on the outer rim here. See, it's just that little flat shelf there, and then a nice smooth gradual slope from there. Top side, very comfortable, kind of basic profile there. Not super flat, nor is it dome top. It's kind of an average but flight plate profile to it. All in all, good feeling disc in the hand, no issues releasing it. Feels good in the power grip, you know, fan grip, whatever your grip might be, no problem there. The Biofusion plastic is great. I like the feel of it. If you don't know, it's basically like a recycled material, or if they have discs that come out of the mold kind of messed up, I believe what happens is they reprocess that material, and that becomes Biofusion, or the recycled plastic for Latitude 64. So yeah, it's really nice, good feeling stuff. That's hence the kind of recycling theme to the stamp, I believe, with the Biofusion. But yeah, nice feel to it for sure. Grippy, kind of looks like Fusion on this particular one. Doesn't really look all that different. It doesn't feel super different either. It's still a very nice premium plastic, but you do get it a little bit cheaper if you go for the Biofusion plastic. It's a little bit less expensive than Fusion and Lucid, and it's also going to break in that little bit faster. So Anthony was telling me that the Criminals actually break in. The Biofusion Criminal breaks in really nice to the point where it'll hold straighter but still have that strong fade, and it won't turn too much. So if you're looking for a DD plastic that you can actually get to break in a little bit quicker and start to see more of that worn-in flight path, but you still have a nice premium feel, check out the Biofusion. So let's put it up next to a couple of its competitors, or just similar discs that I wanted to throw it up next to. This is an Opto XXX. Much slower, larger diameter, but it's also a very overstable fairway driver, so I wanted to put them up next to each other so you can get an idea for the difference in profiles there. The XXX is a super unique disc in terms of its profile. You can see there's a lot of difference there in the way it's designed, but the roll in your bag would be quite similar, I'd say. The XXX, considerably slower, but still a very overstable fairway driver. And while I have it here, I also have the Page Pierce Convict, which is similar in speed, but not as overstable at all, but I'll still throw that up next to it as well, so you can get a little bit of a side-by-side look there. You can see the Criminal definitely has a sharper profile to it, and more of that overstable design characteristic to it. Alright, so let's talk about the flight of this thing. Super overstable, but for me, in this particular plastic and weight, it's not something that really comes out of my hand and just dives out hard left instantly. I can get it to hold up to speed for a little while and then have that consistent fade at the end of the flight. Again, going back to what we talked about earlier, where Anthony was telling me that, you know, if you get a Biofusion one, break it in a little bit, it'll hold really nice and straight up to speed without any real natural turn. Just hold that line and then finish in. So as you kind of break this thing in, you'll see a little bit more of a straight flight overall, but it'll still maintain that overstable, consistent flight to it, which I really like. I can throw it on anhyzer, comes all the way back out, no problem whatsoever. Throw it into a strong wind, it's not going to have any issue with that. It'd be a great forehand disc because it has a lot of stability that can handle a lot of torque and snap for a forehand. Overhand discs, I would imagine this would be a good disc for that as well. I don't throw those, but if you do, it could be a good option. For me, it's something I would throw into the wind or low skip shot. If if you need to kind of jump around the corner, or just on any kind of windy day, or any of those times where you just want to throw something that you know exactly how it's going to behave. I can't stress enough, it's really nice to have those overstable discs in your bag for times where you're just kind of unsure what to throw, but you have an open shot. You know you can just club up to the criminal, aim it out to the right a little bit, rip it, and you know that you can count on that fade to get you towards the basket. So it's really consistent in that respect. If you throw the Felon, I'm sure a lot of people wonder how the Felon and the Criminal compare. It's quite simple from my testing and from what I've heard from Team DD members and anybody who's tested these discs together. The Criminal is a little faster and a little bit more overstable. So it has a little bit more range to it, which I kind of like. And in fact, I've been carrying the XXX for a little while now, and it's actually in danger of getting bumped from my bag for the Criminal, because the Criminal just has that more range to it. I can throw it farther than I can a XXX, but if I power it down a little bit and just don't put quite as much energy on it, I'll still see a very overstable, very similar flight overall, but I can power it up, snap it harder, and get a little bit more distance. So it's kind of fills the same role, but it ends up being a little bit more versatile with that extended range. If you are a beginner, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this disc unless you live in a really windy climate, or you want to kind of have that disc in your bag that you know exactly what it's going to do. But ultimately, better suited for more experienced players. You don't have to have a ton of arm speed, like I'm not a big arm, but you kind of need to know a little bit of what you're doing throwing out there to really use this disc effectively. Designed more for pro players and windy climates. Great disc. Thanks so much to Dynamic Discs for sponsoring this review. Thanks to all you guys for watching. I'll check you all very soon. Cheers.